On to the Philippines now, where Filipinos have begun voting for their new president, with the son of an ousted leader and a champion of reforms and human rights as top contenders.
Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the son and namesake of the strongman ousted in the 1986 People Power Uprising, has led pre-election surveys. But his closest challenger, Vice President Leni Robredo, has tapped into shock and outrage over the prospect of another Marcos recapturing the top office, and harnessed an army of campaign volunteers to underpin her candidacy. 8 other candidates, including former boxing star Manny Pacquiao, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, and former National Police Chief Senator Panfilo Lacson, have lagged far behind in voter preference surveys. This winner, I should say the winner of Monday's election, will take office on June 30th for a single 6-year term and stands to inherit immense problems, including a pandemic-battered economy, deep poverty, and a legacy of brutal anti-drug crackdowns led by outgoing leader Rodrigo Duterte. Thousands of police and military personnel were deployed to secure election precincts, especially in rural regions with a history of violent political rivalries and where communists and Muslim rebels have a presence. John Lee, a hardline security chief who oversaw a crackdown on Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement, was elected chief executive on Sunday in a vote cast by a largely pro-Beijing committee.
Lee was the only candidate and won with over 99% of the vote, in which nearly all 1,500 committee members were carefully vetted by the central government in Beijing. He will replace current leader Carrie Lam starting July 1st. Lam's 5 term was marked by huge pro-democracy protests calling for her resignation, a security crackdown that quashed virtually all dissent, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Lam congratulated Lee in a statement and said she would submit the election results to Beijing. The committee members voted in a secret ballot, and Lee's 1,416 votes were the highest support ever for the city's top leadership position. The Chinese government's liaison office in Hong Kong congratulated Lee, saying the election was conducted in a fair, just, and orderly manner in accordance with laws and regulations. However, critics say freedom of speech and assembly that Hong Kong was promised to keep for 50 years when it was handed over to China back in 1997 has vanished as Beijing exerts greater control.
We must make good use of our status as an international metropolis, one that upholds the values of creation, of inclusion, diversity, and openness. We must expand our international connectivity, establish a more favorable business environment, and increase our overall competitiveness. We must further strengthen Hong Kong's role as the gateway and the bridge between the world and our country.